Hello everybody and welcome back to Crochet Through Corona. I hope you enjoyed your first lesson this morning and now we are up to our first project. So I'm hoping that after each skill we will make a small project to help you visualize what you've achieved. So today we're going to be making our very own Crochet Through Corona bracelet. It is just simply made up of our chain stitch, which hopefully you've all been practicing and have now got a nice even tension on. And we will have a visual representation of what we've achieved and can see something tangible. So hopefully you will enjoy making this. I've got coffee in hand. My husband just made me a very lovely home mocha and it's warming me right up because the temperature seems to have dropped a little bit. Coffee and crochet go very well together. So what you will need for this video: some yarn, your hook, a darning needle and some scissors. So what you will need to start with is your slip knot. So we'll be going over the lessons that we learnt this morning. We learnt how to slip knot and attach to our hook. We learnt how to yarn over and make a chain stitch. And during this project we'll also learn to fasten off. So take the end of your yarn between your finger and thumb, over the top of your finger, make that nice cross with your yarn. Use your thumb to push against the yarn and push it up the other side to pinch between your finger and thumb. Take the piece of yarn over the top and then you can just use your hook to hook it up. There we go. There you have your slip knot. And then we talked this morning about how to hold your yarn. So I personally like to wrap it around my little finger and then over the top of the index finger to control the tension. Hopefully you're finding your own way of how is comfortable for you. And again, I hold the crochet hook as a knife kind of pattern style, and some people like the pencil style. So just whatever works best for you and how you feel most comfortable is what is right. So we're going to start with our chain stitching. So we're going to yarn over. So I'll show you that again. We're taking the yarn behind the hook, over the hook, round the hook. We're going to use the hook to catch the yarn and pull it through the loop that is already on your hook. Show you that again. We're taking the yarn behind the hook, round the hook, catching it with the hook and pulling it through this loop that is already on the hook. Great. Now you're going to repeat this about 120 times. So I hope you have been well practiced. I want you to keep a nice even tension as you go. So we're not doing them too big because that will make it look scrappy, and not too small because then you won't be able to pull your hook through. So we want a nice even tension, just enough to just slip your hook through. Like that, and don't forget to keep moving your finger and thumb up to hold your work as you move further up. It might be helpful to release a load of yarn from your ball before you start, so then you're not trying to pull against that while you're crocheting. So I'm just taking my tension again and I'm carrying on counting. So I would say at minimum get to about 115, and then you will want to measure it against yourself. So it's going to be individual for each person this. I actually have done a blue Peter jobby. I've never had a badge, so maybe if someone's watching this and wants to give me one, that's great. But I'm going to put this one down and find the one that I made earlier. So here is the chain that I made earlier. This one is 125 chains long, and it will vary how many chains you need depending on how tight you crochet or how loose you crochet and the size of your wrist. So you want to test it out. When you're testing out how long you need to do it, you want to pull your yarn through a little bit so that you have a nice big loop. So if you accidentally catch it, it's not going to unravel all your work. So just pull it through a little bit so you've got a bigger hook, and then when you come back to start working again, you can just pull it back small again. So pull a bit of yarn through so you're not going to unravel your work by accident, and then you want to just drape it around your wrist 4 times and see whether it, oh, I can't count, and then it wants it to come back together quite nicely without being too tight, because you're going to just literally wrap this bracelet on and off. So I've got about that much gap between mine and that much gap between that one, so you will need that gap to be able to wrap it on and off. If it's too short, just carry on doing a few more chains. If you think it's just going to be too loose, then pull a few chains out. That's really easy to do. You literally just take the bit that's attached to the yarn, the ball still, and just pull it through, and you can just pull it out. Ooh. So I'm going to now redo that, and I have no idea how many I pulled out, so that was a bit silly, but I'm just going to put another 10 in here. I think that was about where I was up to. Great. So to fasten off, it's really simple. You pull through a little bit. Again, just whenever you take your hook off out, it's good practice. Just pull a bit of yarn through so you're not living on the edge. Living on the edge, you're crocheting. Okay, clearly it's not life and death, but if you've spent hours doing a piece of work, you don't want it to suddenly all be unraveling. So pull a bit of yarn through, and then you've given yourself a bit of leeway. Yeah. And then you're going to take the bit that's still attached to the ball. You're going to take your scissors and you're just going to cut it. Now, I would say you would need at least a hand length of yarn to be able to fasten off neatly. So don't cut it too close to the top of your chain, because then you won't have anything to tie in. So you want to leave it a good hand length. I've actually done mine a little bit short, so don't follow my example. Do as I say, not as I do, and all that. So you just cut it, and once you've cut it, you pull the yarn through, and there you have it. You've fastened off. I wouldn't pull it too tight because it will make it all bunch up a little bit. So that is your chain. Now we just need to attach it together. So we're going to take the thread at the beginning of your chain, so from the start of your chain, and we're going to pick up your darning needle and thread the yarn through the darning needle. You then want to find the other end. I'm leaving my slip knot here. And you're going to thread it. Can you see this V shape here? Each chain has a V shape. You're going to put it through the top V shape. And that way it's just a little bit easier to tie it together, and that's as simple as it is. We're going to just tie these two pieces of yarn together, and I'm going to do a double knot for a bit of extra security. And then to make it look neat, we just simply wrap the yarn round. So I've got this join just here, and you can do it however you like. I'm going to just wrap it round and round. I'm going to do it a bit this way, keeping it tight so it doesn't go all floppy. And then I'm going to start coming back to the middle and go across the other side. I'm going to wrap it till there is no end left. You're probably like, Kath, why did you tell me to leave a whole hand's length? That's a lot of wrapping. But hopefully it allows you to get it a bit neater. The shorter it is, the more bobbly it will look. And then coming back towards the middle again. And now I'm going to use the other end and wrap it round to secure that piece of yarn. You can just twist it like this if it's easier. It does get a bit messy if you do that though, actually, so I would suggest not doing that. Ignore me on that front. Okay, just pulling it tighter and coming back to tidy this bit up here. Obviously, if this is too fiddly, you can literally just knot it off, cut, and you can be done. That is it. Simple as that. I am just trying to make it look a little bit neater and more finished by doing this. Now, once you've secured that last bit, you want to leave about that much yarn, maybe a little bit more, to be able to sew in the ends. So we're going to thread that back through our darning needle, and then we are going to just sew into this little tube that we've made. And when we do it, we're going to weave in and out, catching various threads. Now, to be able to secure it off, I'm going to suggest you do this 3 times, catching different threads each time. And then last time, oh, came out of my needle there, so we just put it back in and go again. And be careful because they are sharp. I'm not going to lie, this isn't as neat as my original one, so if I was making this not for a video, I would probably be pulling this out and starting again. But the pressure of the camera is getting to me. I can't even thread my yarn now. And the children are going to wake from their nap any minute, so I haven't got the chance to remake this video. So here we go. And then once you've pulled it through the 3rd time, you can just trim the ends. And there you have it. Simply pop it on your wrist, wrap round, and squeeze through one more time, wrap round, and there you have your crochet through Corona bracelet. I hope you've enjoyed making this bracelet with me, and I would love to see any pictures that you've got of making it.